Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy hump day. It is Melissa, evidential medium and master instructor teacher with integrated energy therapy. How are you all today? We had a really nice Tarot Tuesday last night, and I felt like they were really high vibrational messages. So if you look at the replay and a message really kind of hits home for you too, then that message is also for you. Spirit always piggybacks messages or brings through messages, especially in a group setting, that the majority can use or relate to or needs. So yes, and remember, in any session, whether it's a card reading, a tarot card reading, whether it's a medium reading, spirit, when you're asking for help or direction, is always going to bring you what you need, not necessarily what you want. So be prepared, be open to receive whatever comes through. And then, of course, you can always ask your questions. But the message that comes through first in every session I've ever done, whether it's a reading with cards, my intuition, dipping into the energy field, you're working with your higher self, whatever you want to call it, or getting in connection with spirit through mediumship, whether it's your crossed over loved one or your higher self. They're always bringing you what you need, because remember, they have the roadmap, right? They know your contract. They know what you came in this lifetime to do and how to get you there. And we as humans, right, we think we have the idea, we have the way, we know what we want, or we get very ensconced in our own like road, right? We're going to go this way. This is how I'm going to do it. Like, it's your will, right? But it's the will of your ego. And you have to be really careful of that, because the will of your ego is operating out of fear. It's operating out of fight or flight. It's operating out of, how do I keep this person safe? How do I keep me safe, right? And so it keeps you in the ideas or situations that feel comfortable. They may not be healthy. They may not be the thing that's going to be the best for you, but they're what you know on a subconscious level. So this is the programming that you receive, right, from a very early age, from birth all the way up until 7 years. That becomes your subconscious programming. And the only way to change that is then to get back into that frequency of the subconscious, which is why it's so important to kind of understand energy and how that all works, right? That we're all vibrational frequency, that everything is energy, and energy can't be destroyed. And so, where are you in that vibrational scale? Are you operating from a place of fear? Of a place of playing small, right? If I'm not seen, if I'm not heard, I'm safe. If I stay in the background, I'm not vulnerable, right? But you're also not living your most authentic expression. You're also maybe not having the happiness or the success that you want by playing it safe, by not putting yourself out there or being the best version of yourself, because you're afraid of that, right? And so in this energy right now, it feels very heavy, it feels very dense, it feels like it's shifting. Things are shifting in your life, and so, of course, you're uncomfortable, of course, you're uncertain, of course, you don't know what way you're going, what's being brought to you, how you're getting there, right? This is why understanding vibrational frequency is so important. Good morning, everyone, welcome. Because if you can now understand that emotions are frequency, fear is frequency, grief is frequency, unworthiness is frequency. It's a frequency number, right? Low frequency. And then when we raise our frequency, we get into the higher frequencies. And that is when you start living your most authentic expression. Like, you start receiving the manifestations, you start getting into happiness, you start receiving, right? But if you're still playing small, if you're still staying in the background, right? If you're still letting the ego mind drive the truck, you're still not getting where you want to go. That's why it's so important to be open to new ways of thinking, of new ways of being and doing. Good morning, everyone. That's why it's so important to different perspectives, see different perspectives, try new things, right? Really get into even self-awareness. How am I feeling about this? How do I hold myself back? Why am I standing in the background? Why am I not setting boundaries? Why am I letting that person continuing to rain on my parade, right? Whatever it is. These are the situations that are keeping us from living our most authentic expression of sharing who we are. And a lot of that happens because we can't love ourselves. We've been taught from a very early age to sit down and be quiet, or if you speak, you're going to get hurt, or if you put yourself out there, you're going to get hurt. Right. I mean, it always comes down to in some way being hurt. So for many people, there's been some kind of abuse, whether it was physical, mental, emotional, psychological, um, sexual, right? There's some kind of abuse that keeps them from being able to live their most authentic expression because they are going to get hurt. They've been hurt. They know what that feels like and they don't want that back. Good morning, everyone. So I don't know. Today, I'm just feeling like we don't have to live there anymore. We don't have to be small. We don't have to play small. We don't have to stand in the background anymore, right? But it may take some growth. It may take some self-awareness. It may take some um, being very honest with yourself. Um, it might take some healing. It might take some real concerted effort in healing, whether that's reaching out to a medical provider, whether that's reaching out to an energy healer, whether that's reaching out to a counselor, whether that's, a relationship counselor, addiction counselor, self-help counselor, coach, like whatever you want to call it, right? And I'm not a medical professional. I'm not giving medical advice. So please look at the disclaimer in the description box. But what I would say is in your self-awareness, where you can feel yourself being held back, where can you start changing that idea? Where can you start changing that habit? Where can you start changing that pattern? And that's what I'm feeling for you today. Like really looking at, um, okay, things have not been going well for me for a few years. I keep making the same decision. I keep expecting a different result, but I keep getting dumped into hardship. I keep getting lack of money. I keep getting lack of relationship. I keep getting um, let down. I keep getting put to the back of the class, put to the back of the room. I don't get the promotion. I do all the hard work. I don't get the recognition, right? It's because frequency, vibrational frequency that you're emitting on a frequency level is telling the people around you, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. Don't give it to me. Even though you're striving and driving and working and putting yourself out there and doing all the things, right? The frequency you're emitting, the energy in your field that's low vibrational because of the trauma, because of the dense energy you're holding on to, the hurt, the pain, the I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not capable enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, right? These are the programs we tell ourselves. From a very early age, we're programmed. Our parents, my generation parents, they were programmed by a generation of people who were totally in lack, totally didn't have money, totally didn't have food, totally didn't have enough, right? Really had to survive. And that survival is what they taught their children, and their children taught us, right? But we're not there anymore. It's not, we're not in the Great Depression. We're not coming out of war. Like our situation is very different. Of course, we have our own challenges at this day and age. But what I'm getting at is that frequency we're carrying that's been passed down generation after generation, we can heal that. We can change that. And that's what I feel like this energy is bringing us, that change. And it's time. And it's time. So, what I would say is if you really are feeling like you don't have enough and you're feeling like you can't get enough and you feel like you keep trying and go and doing and being all the things and it's not working out, right? It's time to sit down and really become self-aware. What are my patterns? How do I feel about things? Where have I been abused? Where have I been neglected? Where have I been criticized? Where have I been judged? How am I allowing those things to affect what is happening in my life now, right? How are those patterns informing my choices and decisions at this point, right? Because you can change it. You can change it. You don't have to stay where you are, but it's gonna be intentional. It's gonna be very intentional. You have to get very intentional that you want better, that you want different, and then you have to go in that way, and it's gonna be uncomfortable because it's not gonna be anywhere you've ever been before, and for many people, they don't wanna be uncomfortable, so they don't make the changes. But if you're here on my channel listening to me, you're ready to make the change, or you're in the change. And yes, it's hard, and yes, it's uncomfortable, and yes, situations are maybe falling away, people are falling away, there might be a little isolation going on, but it's bringing you to the new. You can't stay where you are and not expect, um no, let me take that back. You can't stay where you can't stay where you are and expect something different. It does not work that way. You have to make the change yourself. You have to make the choices and decisions that, yes, is gonna upset some people that are very close around you because it's not that they want bad things for you. It's not that they want you to stay where you are to keep you small or to keep you in pain, but it's their comfort zone, and they feel like if you stay in the lane that you've always been in, you'll be safe, even though you know you're not safe there, even though you know you're not receiving what you want, that you're not achieving what you want to achieve. You're not having what you want to have, right? But from their perspective, if you make a change, that's too uncertain. That's too scary. Don't do that. Don't go in that direction. Mm-mm. And you're going to have to love them through that. Either moving away so you don't hear what they're saying until you make your change. Because here's the thing, when you start winning, they'll come back. When they see that the change you made was okay, like, "Whew, she did it, he did it, they made it, it's okay," then they can come back, right? And, "Oh, congratulations," and now they wanna, celebrate the success with you, even though they had to dip out while you were going through the really hard thing, right? You'll have a few that really stick close to you and are like, "I'm supporting you no matter what. I love you no matter what. I'm here for you no matter what." But the majority of the people, it's gonna scare them because it's almost like you expect them to make a change. You expect them to do something different, and that's too scary for them, right? So sometimes you just have to love people where they are and let them do their thing, but you have to keep going in your direction. And I feel like this morning, that's what I'm kind of being brought to for everybody, that it's time to go in your direction. It's time to do what is right for you and not right for anybody else. So let's see what Spirit wants to bring in to whew, add to this morning. So good morning, Steph. Good morning, Ann Mall. Good morning. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Tammy. And good morning, Chrissy. Good morning, all of you on the replay. Good morning for all of you who haven't commented, but you're here. I may not see you, but I feel you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So, whew. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. She's sending me some love this morning. All right. So I feel like that message was because in some way somebody was asking, maybe, and of course intuitively, right? But I was feeling kind of the question or the energy of why can't I win? Why can't I get out of my own way? Why can't I have what they have, right? Why can't I get where they're getting? Why can't I? Why can't I? And that's why. It's not that you're not working hard enough. It's not that you're um not wanting it or doing all the things, right? It's because frequency is not there because you're still holding on to too much old stuff, old patterning, too much fear in your mental body and in your emotional body. And it's time to transform that. It's time to let that go. And I have two ways in which I can help you all. So you can work with me in my community on the monthly coaching call, or no, on the monthly meetup where we do self-directed compassion to change your frequency, and also individually through integrated energy therapy. So if you want more information on that, just go to my website. But yes, I can help you change your frequency through healing with the angels and self directed compassion. I'm just a facilitator, but I know that you can be profoundly affected. And I feel like for many of you, like on some level, if you're here, you're ready. It'll just be divine timing when you take the step. So, welcome everyone. Oh, yeah. And look at this the cards that fell out. Now I know where this message. The fear. Let's see if I can get this in the camera there. Okay. Yeah, you're feeling the fear. So for some of you, this energy is triggering you. There's something going on in your life that you're being triggered. It's triggering an old fear, an old pattern. Sorry, guys. Whether that's fear of criticism, fear of judgment, fear of being abused, fear of being maybe lack of money, homeless, jobless. You're being triggered. And that's what's going on right now. And for many of us, this is happening because so many planets are in retrograde and some are going direct. I believe Mercury is going direct soon. Venus just went direct. And we've got some other planets right now really kicking up the dust. And I feel like Pluto is the major player right now. So you might want to look at where Pluto is in your birth chart. I guess I'm not an astrologer, so please find someone you vibe with, but there's a lot going on. So you're being triggered and it's very real, even though for some of you, you're like, why is this coming back up? I've dealt with this. Why is this coming back up? I survived through this, or I overcame this, right? But now this fear is coming back up. You're being triggered, right? Because there's something that you have needed to move away from, and maybe you haven't done that yet. Maybe there's, you haven't made the real steps you've wanted to, or you've made some baby steps, right? But I feel like this trigger is pushing you to make big change, big steps. And this is where that fear is probably really ramping up right now for you. Whether it's, switching companies, whether it's leaving a relationship, whether it's getting a new home, changing your business, starting a business, whatever it is, right? Big triggers. And so it's really important to understand that trigger is because there's still that frequency within you, that hurt within you, that little girl or little boy within you that got hurt, and that wounding is coming up, right? And so it's time to know that it's time to change that. It's time to change that, because until you intentionally do something, right? You get some kind of healing, you get some kind of help, right? Whether it's, again, all the things I talked about, getting a counselor, getting a doctor, getting an energy healer, getting a coach, right? Whatever it is, right? It's because you need to step into your purpose, your authenticity, who you came in this life to be. And it's time to do the transformation out of the inner child wounding, out of the abandonment issue, out of the resentment, out of the threat, out of the fear, out of the resentment, out of the unworthiness, out of the powerlessness, right? Because when they criticized you, when they judged you, when they abused you, they took your power. And you have to take real steps to gain that back, unfortunately. To feel worthy, to feel like you deserve, you have to take the steps to take that back from the abuse, from the fear, from the thing that created it, the feeling that created it. And for some of you, you won't be able to and won't even want to. Like, it's not important, like, who the abuser was, whether it was a parent or family member or stranger, right? It doesn't matter. A loved one, a partner, right? So many narcissistic men and women out there really, really abusing their partners, their empathic partners who really had that desire to help them, really had that desire to help them change and to feel good. But their lack of remorse, their lack of empathy in themselves, for anybody else, right? Really took you out at your knees, put you in some despair, put you in lack, really negatively impacted your life in some way. And now it's time to take that back. And for some of you, you're going to need help doing that, right? You're going to need to move on, but you're going to need help in moving on because your heart was broken. Your heart, I can't get this. Yeah. Your heart was broken. Your heart was broken and it's time to heal it. So whoever stabbed you in the heart, again, whether it was family, friend, uh, parent, partner, whoever it was, and for some of you, it was all of the above. It was all of the above. But you can change the frequency of the past. You can change where you're resonating on that emotional scale so that you can start manifesting and having the life you want. You can change it. You can change it. But you've got to do the work. You've got to get into connection with your higher self. You've got to get into connection with the inner child. You've got to get into connection with your authenticity through your higher self that can bring you back to the roadmap of your life, your contract, who you came here to be, the gifts and talents you came here to share, the manifestations you came here to manifest, the money, the love, the resource, the home, the car, the job, the passion, the goal, the creativity. You can take it back. You can heal that karma. You can heal that frequency. You don't have to stay in that old karma. You don't have to stay in that old story. You can heal it. You can move away from it. You can receive. You can have the transformation. You can have what you want. You can have the love. You can have the money. You can have the financial stability. You can have foundation. You can have financial. You can have resource. You can have safety. And it's not going to come from anywhere else but inside of yourself. No one can give you those things. And we're all looking for it outside of ourselves. And it's inside. That connection to source, that connection to spirit, that connection to yourself. When you heal the resentment, when you heal the unworthiness, when you heal the powerlessness, you step into your authenticity. And then when you're manifesting the new boss and the new partner, it's on a whole new scale. It's a whole new level where they're now bringing gifts and talents to the table to you, and you have to learn how to receive it. But you have to do the work. And that's what I feel like this energy today and moving forward is bringing you. The knowingness that it's time to do the work. And for some of you, it's like, I've been feeling it coming. I've been kind of skirting the edges of it, right? But are you ready to invest in yourself? Are you ready to stop investing in everyone else's success? Are you ready to stop investing in everybody else's winning and win for yourself? And the people who want you to win will be there while you're winning. And the people who are jealous of it or uncertain of it or you're triggering them, well, they have to go on their own journey. And you have to love them where they are, but keep going. Keep going on your own road. This is about you, your journey, your winning. Because it's time for your purpose, your passion, who you came here to be. The artist, the writer, the mom, the dad, the mentor, the coworker, the sister, the brother, the aunt, the uncle, the person who radiates love and draws to them more love. Because when you love yourself unconditionally, And for many of us, that is such a foreign concept, and it's triggering me actually a little bit as I sit here talking about it because I struggle with self-love. I struggle with loving myself unconditionally. I still do a little too much for the people around me because I want them to win and I want them to be better, right? But I have to love myself unconditionally as you have to love yourself unconditionally because it's time. It's time to step into your power and share your gifts and talents, whatever that is. Whatever that, even if it's just modeling kindness to others. You have to be kind to yourself first. Saying no where you need to say no. Standing up where you need to stand up. Walking away where you need to walk away. As hard as it may be. Because unfortunately, sometimes you need to walk away for people to stand up and go, "Oh, they were serious. Oh, shoot, okay. I either gotta get my game on so that they'll come back, or yeah, they just keep going in a different direction, and there's nothing you can do but love them and let them go." Good morning, Cynthia. All right, let's get some advice. Get some advice. It's funny that some mornings I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta do daily guidance because there's a message that needs to come through," and today was that day. So I'm not surprised that we're almost, a half hour in, and I'm just getting to the advice because I just felt like I needed this message, and those of you who will see this message, there was something here for you, and that's why I love my job. That's why I love my job. So thank you for being part of this. Being here with me every day, every other day, whenever you find me. For those of you new, welcome. For those of you who've been here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not going to stop saying it. Oh my gosh. And thank you, thank you, thank you for those of you. I'm getting emotional. Whew. I've been getting a lot of referrals lately. And that's just so validating that this journey that I've been on for all these years now, it's, it means something. Because there's been so many times in the last just couple of years that I thought I'm gonna hang up my hat and, go do something 40 hours a week where I just go and do my job and come home, right? And every time I think that, Spirit's like, "Nope, you're gonna start this. Nope, you're gonna write this. Nope, you're gonna put this out. Nope, you're gonna do this," right? So, I just have to say thank you for the referrals because it means a lot. Thank you for the stars because that's also validating for those of you who've been hitting that stars button. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those of you who are subscribing and liking. However you're supporting me in the way that you can. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Chrissy. Oh, awesome, Cynthia. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. All right. So let's see what advice wants to come out. Yeah, the referrals are like those are the best kinds of, thank yous or, um yeah, thank yous. Thank you. All right. See what I like this deck. I really do like this deck. I actually might read out of the book. I'm feeling like we're gonna read out of the book because it's actually teaching us stuff, actually. Yeah. So we got 2. Oh, look at that. And didn't I talk about it? Look at that. Retrograde came out. Yes, we have got some major retrogrades going on. So for some of you, and actually I was watching an astrologer and she was actually talking about like don't make any changes to your hair. There's some kind of planetary alignment that like makes you want to change your hair, your physical appearance. And I've been really thinking about cutting my hair like super, super short. And I was like, ooh, I'm glad I saw that. My hair grows fast, so it's not like I'd have to live with it for very long. But I was really thinking that. I was really thinking I should go get my hair cut off. And then it was like, oh, that's the energy out there right now. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna make any major changes to your appearance, think it through. Maybe give it a couple days. Don't do it right away. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. All right, so retrogrades get a bad rap, especially Mercury retrograde, which we are in. Or just coming out of. Oh, no, I think we got about a week. But the retrograde cycle is truly a helpful and necessary time. Let's see if I can get this to there we go. It's nothing to worry about, just something to work with. A planet is in retrograde when it appears to reverse the direction of its journey across the sky from our perspective here on Earth. As the planet revisits its path, you get the review of your life. So the action is to stop the normal patterns of your life and take a break. The roots of this issue are found in the past. Reconsider, revise, repair, and edit. Dig in a drawer to find an old idea to bring forth and rework it. Reconnect with old friends and previous contacts. Address some unfinished personal business. Look again and find lost items and missing information. A delay may be a saving grace in this situation, so check equipment, read the fine print, and make sure that everyone is on the same page as it is safe to move forward. This is an opportunity for a do-over. You don't need to get stuck in the past if an old problem rears its head. Rather than reinscribing dysfunctional patterns, take a different approach. Before you re-engage an old relationship, inventory your heart. Consider what needs to be different this time to make it work. Broach new territory together. If you feel called, put regular work aside and attend to a side agenda, a sole important short-term project that urgently needs every bit of wisdom you've garnered. So the challenge in this energy, it's not a time, tempting though it may be, to reminisce, pick at old scars, or revisit a painful situation from your past just because you want the emotional charge of anger or the excuse to wallow in memories of betrayals and regrets. Ooh, that's great advice. You've been there, done that. Got the t-shirt and don't need to do it again. The gift. Take a deep breath. This is a moment out of the ordinary flow, an opportunity to use what you've worked so hard to learn. Use your accumulated skills, knowledge, and maturity. Slow, steady, and thoughtful will win this race. So I love that. That is a really good synopsis of what retrogrades are. And because we're going through so many of them right now, I feel like that is really great, like advice and information. So if that's something you need to re-listen to, I would on the replay, definitely take a minute to re-listen to that if you're someone who's like really struggling with something from the past. Oh, and then we got exploration, the ninth house. So we're moving on to exploration. So look at this. Look at that, beautiful. This is actually reminding me of like the wheel in the tarot, right? Well, the things are changing. So if your chart were a village map, the ninth house would contain the international airport, university, or broadcasting tower. The ninth house is the original World Wide Web. It speaks of how we expand our world through official and unofficial higher education, travel, international understanding, philosophy, and global communication. So the action here is go exploring. Step out of your comfort zone and see what lies beyond the boundaries of your familiar bubble. Step into a new country, try on a fresh attitude, and immerse yourself in an unusual body of knowledge or a spiritual philosophy you did not grow up with. It is hard to see your bubble, the lens for your experience, until you step outside of it. Look back at your socioeconomic milieu, family and friends, and education, and confront any unconscious assumptions that your people, your class, your culture is all there is. You are being charged to develop a truly diverse perspective and understand the real diversity in a person, ecosystem, or company builds resilience. Push your unique boundaries. If you are an urban international traveler, you may be most stretched by small town life. Read the philosophy and spirituality from a far corner of the world. Once you've done all this work, share what you've learned with the world as a speaker, writer, traveler, teacher, or internet diva. Wake up the world. Your challenge is when you finally break through and can see the far horizons, it can be difficult to reconcile the allure of those infinite possibilities with the familiarity of the people close to you. Both are important. Gift. Widen your horizon and expand your world. Explore in your mind, body, and soul. Teach what you know. The world is waiting for you. So, in your way. And for some of you, it's not about like getting a passport and start, traveling around the world. Some of you, it's just about expanding in your circle, expanding who you are in your community, in the community of the people around you, of where you work, just being more responsive and open to new ideas, new perspectives. I was actually thinking while I was reading that before I started this journey of really sharing I did a lot of learning, and one of the things I did was I actually did a lot of learning about all the different religions around the world and what they had in common, and it really kinda opened me up to my little, you know, box that I had grown up in that was very Roman Catholic, right? With all the rules and all the strictness, right? And, what I found was there was a core teaching, that even though there was a lot of rules I didn't agree with, the core teaching was the core teaching of all of the religions around the world, whether it was Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, uh, Catholicism. I'm trying to think what else I delved into so many while I was, just trying to expand myself and get out of my little box, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about sharing love, sharing kindness, and that was what it was most important, and I feel like if you're someone who's ready to expand so that you can share love and you can share kindness without the heaviness and the density of the fear and the stuck and the, um not being able to get out of your own way, not being able to get out of the patterns of the hurt and the pain and the not winning and the not receiving and the not having, right? We have to grow out of that. We have to heal out of that. So, before I go, because I know this is kind of a longer video, but that's okay. You can always watch it in chunks or just listen to it. You don't necessarily have to watch me talk. You can listen to me talk. I'm gonna pull an angel card just to see what angel may want to show up for us. And yeah, I'm being pulled to the dragons. I'm being pulled to the fairies. I'm being pulled to the unicorns. I'm being pulled to the mermaids. I'm being pulled to all the higher vibrational beings that want to come in. So whoever you feel is in your team of guides, angels, ascended masters, definitely rely on them. But if you're someone that isn't sure who is in your team, you can absolutely call on Archangel Haniel, which, she showed up in one of my IET sessions yesterday. So for the person, here she is again for you that, I had that IET session with yesterday, and, there she is. So connect with angels, Archangel Haniel. So yes, and she's all about joy and coming into your own and, learning how to express yourself joyfully and getting into that high vibrational frequency. So if you want more information on Archangel Haniel, you can actually go to ask-angels.com. Melanie Beckler has a beautiful blog where there's more information on Archangel Haniel. And also in Archangel Ramala, radiate joy. Yes, it is time. It is time to step into your authenticity. It is time to step into joy. It is time to step into receiving. And so, if you're struggling with those concepts, then definitely call in these two archangels to work with. And again, if you want more information on them, you can go and look them up. They are here to support you. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. It's been, yeah, it's been a really, great morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you if you're still here live with me and you've watched the whole thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're someone that came in late, thank you for being here. If you're watching on the replay, please hashtag replay. Join your energy to the group because it really does inform the readings. And if you want more information, please go to guidance311.com on how to work with me in my community or personally for wherever you are on your journey. So sending you so much love and so many blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your hump day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.